Hello and welcome. This is Alura Cein. So I'm getting kind of tired there. Been working a lot, doing a lot of different projects, charities, fundraisers, readings, healings, classes. I mean, the list just goes on, and on top of running my very own family, becomes a little overwhelming. I guess you could see from my eyes look really tired, but I think once I get caught up on some very much needed rest, I should be doing pretty good and looking much more rested up. So I don't want to quit just because I'm feeling a little bit tired, where a lot of people will stop and take a breather. I don't feel like there's time to actually take a vacation or a rest. And the reason for that being is because we have so much energy coming in. I mean, we have earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, we have the blood moons. There's going to be so many twisters out in the Midwest United States this year. I mean, there's so many natural disasters, wildfires, hurricanes, everything on its way because of this enormous shift of energy. So I want to get everything out as much as possible. I want people to find themselves. Finding yourself is really important because you're not going to be able to connect or unite with anybody else until you can understand who you are first. And once you understand who you are, you pretty much got the hang of everything else because we are all one. So this video is going to be a little bit more detailed on elementals and incarnated fairies because I didn't really touch a lot of base with this topic. I did a quick video last year about it, and I was really mainly concentrating on the project that I had about the incarnated angels to get as much as I could about them and the starseeds. So, oh, by the way, check out my new starseed blog. It's at starseedguidance.blogspot.com. And there's all the traits of all the starseeds. I'll leave the link in the description below so you guys can check them out and see where you really resonate or fit in. But let's get on with it. I only have limited time here. So I want to talk with you all about the fairies and the elementals because, let's face it, we have some who have incarnated. So why would a fairy or an elemental choose to incarnate into this lifetime? Well, first of all, they have resided over all of creation for so long. They took care of it. They were a part of the elements. They were a part of earth, air, fire, water. They were the little particles in the sky. And they have watched mankind evolve for so long that they just wanted to have a part of that. They wanted to help the humans to understand that it's not just about the material world. It's about balancing all of the elements. So that's why they came. And also they wanted to experience it and learn a thing or two about the material plane while they're teaching others about balancing all of the elements. So it kind of works out for everybody. So fairies are beings that are really just little lesser angelics. That's all they really are. And they have a very different wing pattern. They have, instead of the bird-like wings, they have sometimes like a butterfly pattern in the energy, or like just a rounded oval type of energy form, which would look more like a dragonfly. And you could see like the little shimmers of light kind of flashing in the iridescent colors of their wings, and they're quite beautiful. And elementals can be the same way. They can have wings too. That's why a lot of people get them confused. I know that I've used the term a couple times, for both of them, but really, I've always considered them to be the same thing, except elementals can sometimes incarnate without, having wings. So if you are an elemental out there and you feel very connected, but you have wings, don't be confused. You're really just a fairy. But if you don't have wings, then that would make you an elemental. So that's really the only difference between the two. Also, elementals, they deal a lot with the physical plane. They have a lot to do with earth, and they take care of nature. They take care of the plants, the trees. They help deliver little messages. They help with the grass growing and the different flowers blossoming. So they really have a lot to do with being in charge of the domain of everything reawakening in spring and staying alive through the summer, and then going through its cycle of sleeping during the fall. So you will see them. They're like the littlest energy forms. You might be just sitting on your couch watching TV and you'll see like a quick flash out the corner of your eye. That would be a fairy or an elemental. They're really tiny little souls because they have to fit into all of those naturistic things. They have to fit into the plants and, any kind of thing that is living in creation that's a part of nature will have an incarnated elemental or fairy soul. So when they do incarnate, they are very spunky, very fun. And these characteristics can also apply to some of the starseed traits as well. But, they're really profound. So if you don't have, the starseed essence and you have these traits, then it's a very good possibility that you are an elemental or an incarnated fae. But you can also have had an experience in the celestials, which kind of adds to that. So moving on, they're very spunky. They're very fun-loving. They do get a little bit jealous and competitive because they like to be the center of attention. They're very vibrant in that way. They love their personality being broadcasted. They love people noticing them. They wear very bright colors. They'll be the types that dye their hair all different types of party colors, but they make it look really cute. A lot of the I noticed a lot of the Gyaru and emo girls were incarnated elementals because they have that soul essence there. They're just really showing it in a different way. So those that are on the darker side of the way that they present themselves will be because they may have been on the other side of the balance, meaning chaos. So they could have been like a little dark fairy or a little dark elemental just to balance out the positive and the negative energies in our atmosphere. But I noticed that, they're very emotional because they're feeling so many different elements of emotion at the same time. They're feeling that spontaneous emotion from the fire element, and it's very excited energy, always on the go, getting bored very easily, and then they experience some very deep emotions such as feeling, a little depressed. They feel panicky, rushed. They get anxiety attacks. They often don't feel like they fit in. And then they have to deal with the earthbound energy, which is what I was just talking about them feeling competitive with everybody and feeling like they really have to be the center of attention. The looks are something that they very much focus on. And then, we have the air, which is the thoughts. They are very deep thinkers. They overthink things sometimes, and that's why you'll see them very quiet. They're very, very observant. They're paying attention to everything that everybody else is doing because they know that they have this insecurity within themselves from the water element in their nature that makes them feel that way. So for them to be able to really function in this plane with all of those different elements of energy going on, they have to learn how to really balance it. And that's going to be hard. So one way to do it is to, like I always tell everybody, for the balance, match your heart, the way that you feel, with the way that you think. If you can't, then forget it. It's probably a bad idea. But you got to try to feel out your thoughts. Is this good for me? Does it feel good for me? And if it does, you go for it. If it doesn't, then you leave it alone. So you're balancing out the air and you're balancing out the water. Now, with the fire energies, this is something that they really need to stay busy. They have to maybe exercise is a really good idea for them because if they don't keep moving, they're going to get very bored. They're going to get very lazy, unmotivated, and they're going to feel drained of energy. So being active is going to help balance out that fire aspect. So with the competitive nature and being about appearance and material things, the only way that they can really get in touch with that earth energy is to go inward and really be okay with themselves. Once they can accept and love who they are, it's not really going to matter the material aspect as much, and they're going to delve deeper into the fire, air, and water aspects of their being. So, like I said, they wear bright colors. Even the guys, they wear the crazy colors. Some of them, if they're darker sides of the energy, they'll wear darker colors. You see them dyeing their hair the party colors. They're very empathic. They're very intuitive. They might not be able to work with the energy. They might not be able to draw on information, but they do. They have it. They just need more training. So they're fun. They love music, parties, exploring life, enjoying the fast life, and even having fun with the simple life. They love being around people, but they tend to withdraw. That's just the way that they cope with everything that's going on. So they come from this realm. It's a garden-like realm in the fourth dimension, and they are kind of like borderline crossover with this dimension because while this is all physical, they still have to be that spiritual essence that keeps everything alive. So elementals and fairies, basically the same thing, except for elementals deal a little bit more with earth elements, and some of them don't have wings, but basically they have the same exact agenda and intention of being here, and they do have a lot of the same personality traits. So those are the incarnated elementals and fairies. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it was so fast. YouTube's cut me off a couple minutes now, so I got up to 15 minutes, and that's it. I'm hoping I get back in their good graces. Video delivered some kind of crazy song that had a copyright, and I don't know. But anyway, I love you all. Namaste. Stay tuned for the next video, and please subscribe if you haven't already.